Hey there, what's up? This is Neil Napier here, and in this video, I'm going to talk about PodGorilla. Now, do note that I'm not actually going to go in and demonstrate the software for you. I think you've seen that enough times. You can go and check out the tutorials of the software if you want. But essentially, if you don't know PodGorilla, if you haven't looked into it yet, it helps create AI-based podcast episodes. So similarly to how you would make AI-based videos, AI-based written content, AI-based social media posts, anything for the matter, AI podcasts are some things that you can create with PodGorilla. All you have to do is use your voice or a third-party voice if you want. That's all built in, and you're able to generate podcasts and get traffic via them. What I want to do in this particular training is I want to walk you through how you can grow, promote, and monetize your AI-generated podcast, even if you don't have any audience yet. And I think that's a big question that's come from a lot of people is, Neil, I want to get started using this, but I don't have an audience. What do I do? How do I go about it exactly? So we're going to talk about that today. Now, I want to first address the elephant in the room, the big question that everyone asks, which is, are AI-generated podcasts less authentic? Are they problematic? Basically, how do you fix that? How do you fix the problem of having podcasts that are not man-made? Because, of course, we are so used to having everything, especially podcasts that are human-made. Think Joe Rogan. So where does AI podcasting actually win in this equation when people typically want to hear someone authentic? Now, the questions that basically come up from that, and I have my notes here, is will listeners trust an AI-generated podcast? How will people think it's low value? And how do you stand out when you're not doing interviews or doing guest collabs? Like, how do you actually build authority in that case? So let me say it like this. Any podcast that you make is basically a content engine, right? It's not a personality show. These AI podcasts are not personality shows. We're not equating them to the real podcasts that you hear, for example, on Spotify or YouTube. They're a little bit different. Essentially, what they're really good at is number one, SEO, search engine optimization. They're really good at education. They're really good at thought leadership. And also, they provide an evergreen niche coverage. So even if you are in niches that are not actively basically used, you can still go ahead and make podcasts in those markets. So it provides multiple use cases across what you're trying to build. But again, we're not trying to replicate the success of human interaction podcasts, which, by the way, cost thousands of dollars to make every single time those are made. What we are trying to do is we are flooding the internet with content that helps build SEO, educate your audience, builds thought leadership, as well as provides a wider niche coverage. On top of that, when we talk about authority gap, right? So people say, oh, well, obviously, if I'm not on camera myself, if I'm not presenting myself like this, where's the authority in that? Thing is, you overcome that by using personal stories in the script. And again, if you go and log into PodGorilla, you'll see there's many different ways to create that script. So infuse personal stories in there, right? I'll give you an example. What do I do? So I have a writing pad here. Let me show you. I've got a remarkable writing pad over here. And what I tend to do is I tend to write all the stories that come to my head, like every day. Every day before I go to bed, I take 5 minutes to just write down 1 or 2 stories that come to my bed. And then I think about adding them to my podcast so maybe they connect with what we're trying to do. For example, today I just went out for lunch, right? I went out for lunch and I had to have this funny coincidence where we bought a secondhand book from someone that turned out to be my friend. I didn't realize it before we purchased it, but that's a funny story. And you can put those funny stories in podcasts because, again, that's what makes those podcasts interesting, right? So you can do that. You can add weekly commentary episodes as well, short episodes like 5-7 minutes, just recorded personally if you want to add them too. That's an optional thing. You can include real case studies, examples, and frameworks. You can build basically trust layer by using the podcast episode, turn it into a blog article, sending an email, putting it up on social. You can do all those things as well. And again, as long as you're doing the structure before creating content, as long as you're doing the research before creating content, you'll be in a good place. You'll do an incredible job of basically presenting good content, right? So AI podcast is going to help you publish 10 times more for much less of the cost compared to doing it manually. And again, the goal is getting your content out. Look, most podcasters quit after 10 episodes, right? They don't even get to 10 episodes. They quit because they're like, oh, it's too much work. And if you can publish 50 to 100 podcast episodes, I can guarantee you will outpace all these non-starters. You'll do a far better job than all these people that are simply struggling at getting good content out there. And again, if you can combine that with video, if you can create video podcasts as well with PodGorilla, you can basically get yourself out there on YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion, and other places as well. So having said that, let's go into other parts of this training I want to cover with you today. I want to first start by talking about promotion mastery. So one of the questions that comes up is, Neil, okay, how do I actually get the traffic to my podcast? Like, it's okay if I just want to publish it out there, but how do I get traffic to it? Like, what do I have to do to make sure people listen to it? Well, the simplest thing you can do, and I'm going to zoom out now, the simplest thing you can do is syndicate it, right? So let's write this down over here. Okay. So the simplest thing you can do to get your podcast out there is you syndicate it. So you put it on Apple, which is iTunes, basically. You put it on Spotify. You put it on YouTube. So you do all those things. Basically, you get the message out by publishing your podcast on multiple places. It's as simple as that. You can use other things too, such as Google Podcasts. You can do that via RSS syndication. And yeah, when you're starting out, one of the places will maybe give you 5 or 10 views. Like that's how many views you're going to get for the first time you publish something. But if you have 10 of those, if you have 20 of those, and I think there's like more than 30 places you can publish them. We have them inside PodGorilla, all by RSS syndicated. So there's training for that. If you're publishing them in like 20 places and you're getting 5 visitors, suddenly your podcast is getting 100 views. And that's just on day one. As you grow and as you do more of these, they start to compound. People keep coming back. People keep listening to more. So I think there's a big scope there to get visitors back to your to your podcast, to your offers, just by syndicating. Now, is that extra work? Yes, but honestly, it's just a few minutes of extra work to set it up, and then it's handled by autopilot. So that's number one. And to me, YouTube still is the number one traffic driver in 2025 because YouTube podcasts tend to get more than 1 billion views. So if you're just talking about YouTube alone, and not even these other places, just YouTube podcasts alone get 1 billion views a year. Or monthly, sorry, not even a year, but a month. That's a lot. And or AI podcasts, even your podcast can still compete because you've got the thumbnails and the titles that basically drive discovery. So if you've got a thumbnail and a title that drive discovery, they can get seen and they can get consumed, basically, which is what you're after. So you can do that as well. And to be honest, I find that it's quite easy to repurpose your episodes into video formats as well. Right, you can do that within PodGorilla, you can do that outside as well. But having said that, one other thing you can leverage, and I would advise you to do so, is social media amplification. And a lot of people worry about this because they're like, oh, but Neil, I don't really want to post on social media because my friends are there, my family are there. Hey, if your friends and family actually like you, they're going to support what you're doing. They're not going to be like, oh, what are you doing? That's upset. They're actually going to support you. If they don't support you, time to find better ones. Jokes aside, though, you do have to talk about what it is you're doing because I'm sure you've heard that expression, if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, did it actually fall? Right, so if you make a podcast episode, you didn't bother telling anyone about it, you might as well not have done any follow-up work. Because yes, PodGorilla will give you push-button podcasts, but it can't give you push-button traffic the way you expect. You can't compete with likes of Joe Rogan, for example, just by sitting on your bum. So you got to move up and you got to do a few things. So just take from the podcast episode, you can derive takeaway clips, right? You can create shorter clips. You can do AI generated audiograms if that's what you want to do. You can do code cards if you want as well. You can do short form reels out of that too. I'll give you an example of something I do. Let me open this up. So I use Descript, and you can even sign to the free version and use that as well. So when you use Descript, basically you can upload a video. So let me show you some of the projects that I have. So you can upload a video that you have previously done. So for example, this one is a long video that I had created and I put it up. And I simply asked Descript to turn that into a bunch of short videos, right? I just said, hey, I want you to turn this into a bunch of short videos. And it generated, let me show you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. I think 11 short videos out of this, just out of one long video, right? So this was about 14-minute long video turned into 11 shorts as well that I can use to further amplify my channel and get more traffic as well. So those are the things that you can do. The point here that I want you to take away is that promotion is not something that happens also magically. It is something that you have to spend some time in. It is something that you have to plant the seeds Because again, a lot of the software that we create, we offer, they are going to take you 80-90% there, but you still have to walk the rest 10%. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to get the kind of results that I'm going to talk about in the next part of this video. Which brings me to the next part, which is turning listeners into leads and clients. So again, the question becomes, Neil, how do I actually, convert people that are maybe just listening randomly into people that buy from me, people that spend money on my products? Now, of course, you know that with podcasts, you can do sponsorships as well, which means that you have the ability to go out there and say to someone, look, we're getting 100,000 views a month on our podcast altogether, and you can pay me to advertise your product or your service, whatever it is, on each and every podcast that I have out there. Like everything I put out for the next month, I'm going to put your material in there, like a 45-second. I'm going to present a video that you give to me, right? So, hey, these are our sponsors, blah, blah, blah. This is what they're doing. Now, of course, make sure you find someone ethical, someone you agree with. If you don't like cigarettes, you don't have to advertise cigarettes. If you don't like a certain thing, you don't have to advertise that. But if someone's willing to pay you a few $1,000s to you for those 100,000 views or listens that they get, perfect. Go for it. That's what you're after. You're after building a statistical sort of statistical database, and you're saying like, look, I can do all this for you, and this is how much traffic, this is how many listeners you're going to get in a month. And that's incredible, right? So you can do that. But when I do podcasting for myself, I want to sell my own products and services because I have a lot of them. So I want to sell my own things. So what I do as call to action is quite often I'll say in the podcast, if it's something relevant, like, hey, if you're enjoying this, we have, a free resource wall that gives you this and a lot more things as checklists or worksheets or templates. Just go ahead and sign up to www.blabla.com. Done. Right. You can also link that to under the podcast as long as there's space to do that. But simply saying that aloud enough times is enough. I'll give an example. One of the podcasts I listen to is Diary of a CEO. In every episode that he does, he has like 3 or actually 4 placements, right? So one of them or 2 of them are typically his own, but 2 of them are where someone else has sponsored him. And he talks about them all the time. And I might be in the gym, I might be taking a walk, I might be listening to it, and I might not check it out right then and there, but at some point the message sticks in my head. Right. So at some point when I'm online, I'm like, oh yeah, he talked about that. Let me go check it out. So that's something that you can easily do as well. Say, download the checklist or download these free resource templates on this link. Done. Just say it out. Right. That's it. Put it in the script. That's all you got to do. So that's one. And every episode, I think, should have one call to action. Like every episode should have a call to action. It could be follow, like, subscribe, all those things, but it could also be go to this link and check out these resources. And when you get those, right, when people go there, don't just give it to them for free. Get an opt-in. Get their email address. When you get their email address, give them what you promised, but also take the opportunity to sell something that you actually own. Like I can tell you, one of the best times to sell someone something is right after you've sold them something. It sounds so stupid, but it works. As soon as someone's bought something from you or even signed up to your email list, you have an opportunity to, because you have the attention right now, right? That's one of the key things that we struggle to get on social media. But because you have the attention right now, and if they paid money to have interest as well, build a desire to do more and get them to take action. So AID, I'm not sure if you know this, if you've heard of it, but basically I'm talking about AIDA, attention, interest, desire, and action. So if someone's opted in for free, you have the attention. If someone's paid you a little bit of money, you have the interest at the very least. Build a desire, get them to take the action. And if you do all of that, I can promise you this is going to work incredibly well for you. So that is what you do to make sure that you're able to essentially put out more call to actions and do that. Now let's quickly talk about monetization as well. I won't go into too much detail here because I've talked about it elsewhere as well. But there are 3 monetization parts that work well for you as an AI podcaster, right? You could sell services or coaching. You could do affiliate recommendations. You could sell digital products. I would strongly encourage you to have your own products as well. Now, it's okay if you want to do affiliate marketing, if that's your main thing, fine. But affiliate marketing will only take you so far because at some point, when you're doing 2 many different podcast episodes, the products are going to change. If you have one product you want to promote all the time, perfect, great. But if your products change every week, then you want to take a different approach, right? So do all of that. But I can tell you, if you're able to execute the way I'm sharing with you, you will be able to sell whatever you want, anytime you want as well. Now, I will say this about monetization too. A lot of people worry that, oh, because I'm not leveraging any personality here, will I kind of struggle to monetize? Will people not buy from me? What matters when you're presenting via AI podcast is clarity, topic selection, and helpfulness. And there's so much stuff you can do for that. There's so much research you can do for that. There's so much content you can create around solving people's problems. Your single podcast episode could be built around solving one specific problem. And as long as you do that, as long as you're able to create that, it will give you the desired result that you're after from this audience. Now, having said that, let's go ahead and talk about repurposing, as well as then I'll give you your 14-day growth plan. That's going to be really, really important. So let's talk about the repurposing engine, where you essentially turn one podcast into more than traffic assets. And honestly, this is what I like the most, because it allows me to go out there and get a lot of mileage for the content that I already have. So let's go ahead and switch over to PodGorilla. I'm going to go ahead and open one of the episodes that we have over here. So let me bring that up for you. There we go. So let's go into my podcasts, and I'm going to pick one. So I'll go for Pest Control Show. Right here, there's this one episode. Let's go to Echoes of the Past, actually. It's a better idea because there's more episodes to look through. So let's go ahead and edit. And you can see, of course, this is a podcast. That's who we're targeting, and all that is fine. I'm going to go ahead and view this. Okay, this is the podcast. And you can add episodes right here as well, of course, you know. So let's go and check out episode 7, view, multiple guests. This was the instructions that we gave, and this is the entire transcript, basically, that we have for the podcast. Right over here, all of it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and download full audio if I want to. I can also just save this. I can also go ahead and play all of it, or I can download full script in PDF, which is what I'm going to do. So I have the PDF now on my computer. I'm simply going to open up ChatGPT. You can do this in the free version of ChatGPT. You don't need to have a paid version. So just go into ChatGPT and upload your script. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to add my script here. There you go. So this is a podcast episode that I recently recorded, and I want to share this podcast episode on multiple places. I would like you to create the following for me. Create a LinkedIn post, a YouTube short script, an X or Twitter thread, so a few posts in a row, as well as a blog post, a newsletter post, or newsletter email. I want you to create some code graphics, as well as an email broadcast that I could use to promote this podcast. Spend as much time as you need to create this and present that to me. So I have a voice to text tool, which for some reason is in caps. So ChatGPT might think I'm angry, but it's going to do all that for me. Now, other things that you can, of course, see as well, if I go to this, is like play all. You can do another episode of Echoes of the... You can see this. And if you've created any videos, you can take those videos, and using these scripts as I was showing you earlier, you can go ahead and utilize that in to create shorts as well. Let's go ahead and take one of them. So I'll take this video. Let's go to this one. So I've clicked on that. I'll play it just to see what it's like. Doesn't play. Let's go for this one. I think it's possible that Islo hasn't run these yet. I'll have to see why that is. But anyway, let me go back into this. So this is, again, using free version of ChatGPT. There's no more than that. And here's a LinkedIn post. Why does history still grip us in a world obsessed with what's next? There's a post. YouTube short script. So again, if you want to make a brand new YouTube video out of this, you can do that as well. X Twitter thread. So tweet 1, tweet 2, tweet 3, tweet 4, tweet 5, 6, and 7. And 8 as well. Blog post. We've got a blog post over here as well. There you go. It's still working. So it's still doing its thing. It's going to create a newsletter, some code as well for a code graphic, as well as then an email broadcast. So it becomes really easy for you to create this stuff automatically using AI. Now, of course, you still have to go out there and broadcasters, which is not a bad thing. I mean, this is where you are going to be different from other people that simply put up a podcast and wait, versus someone who actually takes the time to market it. So anything that we create, we have to market it. We made PodGorilla, we had to go there and sell it. We had to go find people. We had to recruit affiliates. We had to run ads. Now I'm making this video, right? So no matter what you do, you have to spend time on getting more people through the door. Everyone has to do that. You do the same thing. So again, you can do this as workflows essentially, or you can just do it via ChatGPT. I uploaded the script and I said, create all this for me. And you can see it is doing all those things. And it does not need to be more complicated than that. Here's newsletter. And then here's also the social infographic concepts. It's giving us concepts. We can ask it for actually creating those as well. So we can say, hey, I like these. Could you create like an image at a time? And it's going to do that for you as well. Again, all of this is very, very easy to do. All of this is very, very easy to construct. And the more you can go out there and share this in other places, the further along you can go, right? That's important. Now let's go back to our table, and I want to show you your 14-day game plan, like what you should be doing for the next 14 days to get kick-ass results out of PodGorilla. Okay, so this is your action plan. Let's go to week 1. Week 1, I want you to go ahead and publish just 3 episodes. Not a lot, but just publish 3 episodes. And then when you publish those episodes, please add a call to action to each of them as well, right? Same call to action, everyone. Like, go to this website or go to this page and check out more details. Just something along those lines, right? And as you do that, then I also want you to, let's do it like this. Okay. I also want you to repurpose into 5 places. So each episode, you're going to repurpose that just like I've done. It's going to take you minutes literally, and you're going to put that into 5 different places. So you're going to do that. And then you're also going to make sure you upload podcasts to all major platforms. You know, at least pick 5, like YouTube, Spotify are a couple of them, and anything else that you want to do, Google Podcasts, my RSS feeds, all those. We have additional training on that as well. Week 2, you are going to publish 3 more episodes, right? And if you haven't done it yet, you're going to create your lead magnet. Then again, you might wonder, Neil, how do I actually create a lead magnet? Like, I have no idea. I don't know what to create. Let's do this right now. Again, I'm going to get lazy and I'm going to use ChatGPT for this as well. So I need your help to create a lead magnet that people can opt in and use when they listen to my podcast. I have no idea right now about what kind of lead magnet will work well for this market. So I want you to suggest me 3 ideas. I'm going to approve one of them and we're going to start building out the lead magnet. Ideally, this should be something people can consume and get a visible result in 5 minutes. So think along those lines. There you go. That's done. Again, we'll let ChatGPT do the heavy lifting as of right now because I don't have time to. So those are my criteria. Let's see. 5-minute historical self-discovery quiz. Ooh, I like this one. There's also 5-minute history to action prompt generator. Maybe not. I think the quiz one was better. The nightly reflection from history. Ooh, I like this one a lot. So basically, what have you learned from history? Okay, let's do number 3. I think this is really good. Go ahead and write it out, but then also give me some ideas on how to design it so it looks really good. Give me the prompts as well so I can feed the prompts back to you and we'll have some design as well. Oh, some mistakes there. But anyway, it's going to do its thing. It's going to build out a lead magnet for us. We just have to put it behind an email wall where people give us the email address. Then we can give them the lead magnet. Done, right? Once you've done that, launch your follow-up sequence. And again, if you're wondering, Neil, I'm not a copywriter. How do I write this? Bingo. Go back to ChatGPT and say, okay, this is really good. Can you go ahead and help me to write this, write emails to basically sell this, right? Sure. There you go. It's giving you all these prompts as well that you can use. Okay. So then say, hey, now I need emails. Can you give me that? I want to post about it in social media. Can you give me that? Right. So you're going to do that. And again, you're going to repurpose each content into 5 places, and then you're going to monitor analytics. And this is what I think you're going to see. When you do this, when you do all of this in steps that I've explained, most likely you're going to get each episode, again, because you're marketing into 5 places. So again, let's build this out so you can see it. You have one episode that you're putting into 5 different places. From each of these, you're probably going to get like 5 visitors each. And you're like, Neil, that's crap. That's useless. Doesn't really work. That's just like 25 visitors, right? But that's just one episode. And this is your first week. So you're going to get 25 multiplied by 3, 75 visitors, which is, to be honest, nothing to write home about. But when you do this in the next week and you do again this 5, next time instead of 5, you might get 8 or 10. I don't know. You might get 8. So that comes out to about 40. Multiplied by 3, that's 120. Now we're getting somewhere. Do it again the week later and your traffic starts to compound. At some point, you're going to hit what we call escape velocity, which means you're going to get to a number where you don't even have to actually market it. Like if you do, it's a good thing. But even if you don't, visitors are still finding you, right? They're still finding you because of SEO, because of the work that you've already put in over the few weeks. And when you do all that, I can promise you, you'll be far ahead of anyone else who has not watched this video. So watch this video, take action, give us a like, drop in a comment if this was useful, subscribe to the channel as well, because I will be releasing more content for you in the future that I think is going to benefit you. I talk more about AI and other things on this channel, which I think you're going to like too. So go ahead, get in there, and if you have any questions, ask below. I'd be happy to guide you.